Right, so this is the Apollo.io tool. Now, before getting into any lead list building or showing you how to find leads or any of that, I want to first walk you through the credits because this is kind of a crucial part of Apollo and making sure you have actually enough credits to get the leads you want. Now, what I would recommend here is, getting a decent sized plan. You can always start with 100 free credits, but you're going to need a lot more than 100 credits. At the moment, I have around 60,000 credits and I've used 53,000 so far, and I'm able to manage my credits over here. Now, once you have your credits, now you can start building your lead list. So in this job title section, this is where you want to put kind of the relevant job titles that are relevant to your industry. An easy way for me to do this, sure, I have an idea that I want to target founders, CEOs, chief operating officers, but you could actually use ChatGPT to figure out kind of what are the relevant job titles. So I would basically say, hey, I run a B2B lead generation agency and I'm looking to target growing SaaS startups. And now you can basically, change this to whatever company you run and whatever leads you want to target. Provide me a list of relevant job titles. Copy this prompt. You get a result. You can basically copy this and go to the job titles and then basically paste it. And now you start getting a list of leads. So far, on the right hand section, I have 7.5 million leads. Obviously, a lot more than I need. So I need to make sure I filter even more. So let's look at these job titles. Are there any job titles here that perhaps I don't need? Well, performance marketing manager is a bit, I don't want to maybe target that, maybe a bit too low or a bit off. For the most part, Apollo got it like really, really correct. If there's something here you see as off, you can always remove because you now have leverage. You can play around with this list and kind of filter it even more. Because I have like 7.5 million, I can play around with this even more. So in the location section, this is where you want to filter based on location. If you're targeting US, UK, you can filter based on over here. I can filter it based on the contact, or I can filter it based on the account headquarters. So I want to filter it based on the account headquarters. So I will just put United States. I can also put United Kingdom. I can also put Canada, but for the sake of example, I'm just going to put United States. Now, what I can also do, this is actually a pretty neat feature of Apollo, is filtering based on employees. So, for example, if I want to target companies that are above 10 plus, I can actually do that using this employee section. I can do it by just clicking these buttons, or I can also do it like actually just type in the numbers. So maybe I want to target from 5 to 50. So maybe I only want to speak to the founders and I only want to speak to the CEO. So I'm filtering based on that. So once I've done this, now I can actually filter based on the industries. So this is another cool part of Apollo where this is where kind of you need to use your brain over here more, if that makes sense. So it's not just like clicking buttons and then like hoping Apollo figures out what your industries are. You need to sometimes think a level deeper. Because if you're targeting SaaS companies, and if I just type SaaS, like obviously SaaS is not going to come up. So you're going to have to choose these ones. So I would basically choose, like, if I'm targeting SaaS, information technology and service, I would choose internet, and I would also choose computer software. Now, you might be thinking, okay, if you're in the SaaS industry, you know that information technology does not necessarily mean SaaS, right? So you can actually filter further based on the keywords. So the difference between a keyword and an industry, a keyword actually goes onto the company and searches for that keyword in their social media, in their LinkedIn maybe, in their SEO. It will basically figure out, like, does that keyword reside in those places? So for me, maybe I want to just search, okay, does it say SaaS? Does it say software as a service? Does it say, maybe I'm looking to target AI and I can just put AI as well. So I could, for sake of example, I would just put SaaS. And now it's filtered even further because I don't want to target cybersecurity, for example, because cybersecurity would fall under these three keywords. So I'm filtering based on SaaS. Now, since that's done, I can now look at these filters. Are there any other filters here I want to use to get my list even more specific? So I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I could do funding, but at the same time, I'm looking at the amount of leads I have, and I think this is pretty reasonable, and I can reach out to them and send out emails to these people. Now, maybe you're a web design agency and you want to target based on recently funded startups, and you can actually filter based on that. So Series A, Series B, Series C, or like maybe you want to go seed level as well. because this gives you indication that they're willing to spend on web design services, for example. So this is up to you. Once you've done that, you can actually go ahead and go to the email status section. And this is important because I would recommend you to select all these 3 sections. So these 3 filters, select them because this will allow you to get the best out of Apollo. Because you, in your mind right now, you're probably like, okay, why would I want to reach out to unverified emails? I want to just reach out to verified emails, right? But Apollo says they're verified, but in reality, you still need to verify them again to see if they're actually verified. So I would just select all 3 anyways and just verify all these emails externally, right? Because if Apollo is not getting it right, you might as well select all 3 of them, get the most out of Apollo's list, and verify it using a third-party tool like Million Verifier or Neverbounce or stuff like that. So once you've done that, you can now go ahead and export these leads. So this is where you want to just select all. Once you've selected all, you can actually go ahead and add it to the list. So I would just click add to list, and you have all these options of the list. You can even create your own list. And this is where you go to the list section and you'll have all these lists. Now, this is a cool part of Apollo because once I've actually saved the leads, once I've already saved it to a list, I can just reuse it again and again and again. I don't have to spend credits again on the same lead. So this is the cool thing with Apollo. It's already saved, and I can just click export list, and it would export the list for me. And then I can verify it using a third-party tool. Because once you actually export this, keep in mind, the leads are not verified. You still have to verify them using a third-party tool like Million Verifier, which I could make another video about. But this is basically an overview as to how you can actually build the lead list on Apollo. I hope this gave you enough of an overview, a clear, comprehensive enough overview as to how to actually build a lead list on Apollo. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching this and have a fantastic day.